So the first repressions of which build with Oedipus complex is the desire of the mother object, which is the first object of desire. And this is the first repression where it begins, and this is how the construction of or building up of the unconscious begins. Unconscious results in a lot of things. So, first, initially, it's like a trash pot where all the trash gets accumulated. But later on, there are various things that can happen with the unconscious. We'll deal with that today. And now, this mother object not being able to acquire the mother object, realizing that she is the object who was owned by my father, and therefore I cannot have her, the boy starts accepting the reality, and this is called reality principle. He accepts the reality principle. And with that acceptance of the reality principle, what follows is that he starts identifying himself with the father figure. Like I said, the girl starts identifying herself with the mother figure. The boy starts identifying himself with the father figure. With this identification of the father figure, he starts imitating the father, starts becoming the like of his father. This way, what he is doing is that he is accepting the symbolic role that the society has given him, the symbolic role of a man, which is associated with his masculinity. The boy accepts the symbolic role of being masculine, which expects him to be one or some, say, A, B, C, and does not expect him to be D, because D is something that's associated with femininity. This is how he becomes the masculine or the man of the society, by accepting the role, by accepting the roles that his father plays in the society in relation to the females of the society, the mother first and the daughters. And this way, what does he become? He now becomes a gendered subject. This is pre-Oedipal stage, and then this is the Oedipal stage. So this is where he enters into the symbolic role, accepting his role as society expects him to be, a gendered subject. This is what later on is questioned by the feminists. Feminists question the same idea later on, and this is what makes him a gendered subject. But in doing so, what did he do? He has repressed something here. He repressed his forbidden desire for his mother, the object mother. And this, where did it go? It went underground into the unconscious. Now, how does unconscious open up? This unconscious is opened up by this very first act of repression. It's called the very first act of repression. And this is also referred to as the primary repression, where you repress the love of your opposite sexed parent. Primary repression, it's called. At this stage, a boy now grows up within those images and practices that his father figure follows. And which also society expects him to do, and therefore this is what defines masculinity. And now he will become a father in future, and then this is how he will sustain this society. When he follows the symbolic rules, he is able to sustain the structure of the society. I come again to structure. He is able to sustain the structure of the society, and if he doesn't follow this, he will break this structure. The structure will be broken. The societal structure will be broken if he doesn't follow the symbolic rules that he is expected to follow. And what next? If Oedipus complex is in this way diffused and symbolic role is accepted, everything is fine, structures are fine. The man, the boy has accepted his role, and therefore he has also accepted his genital sexuality. But what if he is not able to do this? What if he is not able to fall into these images and practices of his father figure? What if he is not able to throw everything down into the unconscious? What then? If the boy is unable to overcome this feeling, these desires, he will start, he may privilege the image of his mother above the image of his father. This privileging the mother will also lead him to privilege his mother over all other women. Consequently, he will never fall in love with anybody other than his mother. That will be a hindrance to the society because structure will fall. If this man doesn't replace this mother figure with any other woman who is in the likeness of the mother but is some other woman, then he has also denied himself the genital sexuality. What Freud says follows is that this will be a trap because what he will happen eventually, he will hate all women. Why will he hate all women? Because he won't be able to overcome the idea of women being castrated bodies. It's not overtly that a man feels this idea. It's in the unconscious. Unconsciously, it's because of their castrated bodies that he hates women. He doesn't know the reason why he hates women, all women. Why he is not able to love any woman other than the mother figure. Because he doesn't know mother is a castrated body as well. But he only thinks women other than the mother are all castrated, not the old women who have given birth to children. Only the unmarried or the maiden girls are castrated bodies. So, what will this give rise to? This recognition that every woman is a castrated body eventually traumatizes him. This is where Freud studies complexes. Complexes means diseases that arise out of this primary sexuality. If things don't work fine, if things don't work in a structure will eventually break, and this is how it breaks. In some cases, this is how it breaks. This traumatized idea of woman, every girl being a castrated body, so much involves this person that he is not able to enjoy or satisfy himself in normal sexual relations with a female, what Freud calls normal sexual relations with a female. And if he is not able to enjoy these normal sexual relations with a female, what does he eventually fall into is what he calls homosexuality. He will fall in love with his men of obviously same gender instead of falling for the castrated bodies. This is one of the diseases that he has studied. This is how he calls it a disease, that people who are not able to work in a structural manner where this repression ought to occur, primary repression, so that the symbolic role is to be followed, so that any gender follows the genital sexuality and the structure is maintained, society is maintained. If that doesn't happen, what else can happen? This is what can happen. Is it clear so far? Any questions? I'll take the questions first and then we'll move on to the next part.